Hi, everybody.
Hello, Fernando.
This is Fernando from Rio de Janeiro. At least.
We will start. We will start in a second. Okay, so everybody is here now, and we are now going into our final call of our Open Hardware Leaders Program. So similar to the weeks, to the week number 4 and 8, you have now the opportunity to share a bit your progress with your fellow cohort mentees, and most importantly, the whole world, because we are at the moment live on YouTube. And since this is the last call, this is also your chance to present it to other people, to invite other people to join your projects, and also to show off what you learned and developed during the last weeks.
We have comments in the YouTube live stream. So hi, yo, and thank you for being there. Send questions if you have, comments if you have, we'll check.
Yes, we hope that we covered interesting and useful topics since the beginning of the program, and you learned during your program to shape your goals and so on. And yeah, what we want to remind you now is of our community participation guidelines. You can find them on our webpage. If you experience any unacceptable behavior, also on YouTube, and if you have any other concerns, please contact us via our email address, which is also available on our website, which is openhardwareforme.me. And now we are going to start with the demos. Please, Jose.
So welcome everyone again, and we want to thank you all because of the situation around the entire world. We have been able to run the program, and you, of course, you are the main stars in the show, and it's great that you have been able to come this far together with us. So we are really excited, and we wanted to thank you again. And the idea with this streaming is that you expose your project to a broader audience in YouTube, you know, and you're seeing already what's going on. People are chatting and things, so it's great. We welcome the audience like Yo and other people that are showing to comment now in the chat, but also later you can share the videos and people can also comment later in the video, so that's great. I think it's demo time now, and we have a queue. So the first project in line is UC2. So welcome, Barbara.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me well? Good. I'm going to share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Good, thank you. So I'd like to start by shortly summing up our project, where we are. As a background, I'll play you this video of our box, and then I'd like to show off with some stuff we really improved thanks to this program. So the UC2 project is around for almost 3 years now, and it started, the first initial motivation was the reproducibility crisis in microscopy, because the methods are expensive, complicated, and typically there's one person who really knows what's going on. So after developing a couple versions of a small 3D printed microscope for incubator, my colleague Benedict got tired of reinventing the wheel, and the modular system was born. New modules with new functions were being added, and the toolbox attracted attention because many people saw its potential application in their field. It turned out it's not just alternative for microscopy, but also and especially for education, because it's a really nice way to explain optics in a playful way. We organized several workshops, and we also developed this box, the full version you're seeing right now, which is a to-go collection of the modules that can be used to teach optics from the basics up to different microscopy methods. Where are we right now? We're in contact with an injection molding company, which will produce the base cubes for us. And we're finalizing a mini box with experiments for secondary and high school. And we're planning to get it into the schools. On long term, we'd like to see this project being beneficial for people. And we're trying to find the best way how to do this. We also have some more workshops organized whenever the time allows it. During this workshop, we mostly improved the openness of our project and building it for community, which brings me to the show-off part, because thanks to the tasks, thanks to Maxim, our mentor, and the peer reviews from you guys, we really had the chance to improve our documentation. So this is our GitHub before the program. The main page is like really long with a lot of information, some old version images, some stuff that doesn't work, kind of confusing, a lot of stuff. And the CAD folder, which in the hardware projects is typically the one people look for, is a large collection of like everything we did. Kind of confusing, not easy for orientation. Look at us now. From the top of our main page, you get to all our other pages. And we also now have a sitemap for the repository for easy navigation. It tells you straight away which will be the steps to reproduce the toolbox and point you to our tutorials. I'll talk about those later. There are the main topics. Then there's the story brushed up with up-to-date images. We also now have a nice and accurate bill of materials, which is a good shopping list saying which modules are in which setup, what to print, what to buy. And we also now have nice contributing guidelines with a code of conduct, which we didn't really know about before we joined this program. It's structured by a topic with some first-timer issues, and hopefully it's encouraging. We already got some more people interested in the project, so I hope it works. Go away. So the applications are now split from the CAD, and it's like easier to find what you're looking for. And in top of each page, there's a signpost telling you what if you're looking for something else. And all the pages have now like a clear structure following the scheme from the first page, with the pictograms telling you what to print, buy, assemble, and what you can do with it. We're still obviously working on it, but it now has a structure that we can follow. And same goes for the CAD folder, which is now better organized. And one important thing, we started adding the original design files, which we were mostly lazy to add before, but we learned how important it is. So we're putting it there now. And we're also having now some video tutorials. More will come with more time. But now, last but not least, the part I'm most proud of is the tutorials, which give you like a background to all the relevant topics, because we learned that if you introduce a method, you always need to give a chance to learn the topic. And also after the tutorials points you to further areas that you can work on. Now the tutorials, I'm very happy with. They really take you from the beginning, step by step, helping you to get familiar with the toolbox to the level that you can really use it to develop your own ideas and come up with new things. We're slowly adding the videos, but we already have step-by-step guides that are stripped of all the confusing information and really show you clear instructions, what to do, and so on, and also teach you something about optics for each chapter. So that's like what we really learned from here. Was very, very good. And I'd like to encourage whoever's watching that you can join us if you have like some free time and 3D printer. As you saw now, it's really easy to start. And I'd like to thank for the opportunity to participate in this, because really learned a lot and improved our project a lot. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Barbara. It was really impressive, all that you showed, and I have chicken skin for real, eh? So, yeah, I think it's great. We're gonna go now for Egosen, and I'm gonna ask Alejo if you want to play the video yourself and talk about it. Can you do that, or do you prefer me to play for you?
I prefer to play by myself, but this video has an audio. I don't know if the audio is gonna be
It's gonna
in
show. Yeah, that's why maybe you can play it, and let's see if the audio doesn't come. You just can comment like Barbara did. So
okay,
right?
if you don't hear, please let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, I share the screen. You can see it?
I can.
Okay, I go ahead.
So we can't hear. I can't hear. I can't.
Oh. Okay, then I'm gonna speak what is happening in the video. Okay. Well, I'm going to present this my project of wait a minute, of Ecosen LoRa data logger for environmental quality. First of all, I want to talk a bit about water pollution. That is the reason about because we make this project. There's a lot of water pollution. Maybe all the people say, but 10% of the people of the world has no access to drink clean water. That is 700 million people. And that is a problem because the water is contaminated mainly by organic contamination. There is a lot of microbes that this may lead to a lot of disease. And this maybe is very common near big cities. And also there are other kinds of pollution. This pollution could be maybe by waste, by waste, and also by fertilizers, also organic or chemical. The chemical are worst, and the waste and the pollution organic can reach the water bodies, and that could reach enrich all the nutrients and can kill all the organisms. And also there is another kind of pollution that are heavy metals and pesticides. You know that there is a lot of pollution, but we need numbers to claim and cheap and open hardware to measure and information shifted for environmental data. And because of that is Ecosen, that is an open way to control the quality of the aquatic environment that concern us. But how it works? Well, we have a water body that concerns us, and we can put in this water body a data logger that is in green down, and this data logger can measure variables and send this information by a LoRa signal to a house or some place that has an antenna, and we can see in any device the water body if it's good or is bad in these environmental conditions. We had made a lot of tests to see if the projects go ahead good. And one of the things that we think that is a key issue is if the user are able or are interested in sharing his data. And these surveys that we made that results in the majority of the people says yes. Then we go ahead with the project and with different activities. For example, in the remainder of 2020, we're going to build a social media community and to release the first LoRa data logger for science, for measurements. That is important to be sure that the measurements are precise of our data loggers. And the first part of 2021, we are making some school events and perform as a server for the data loggers, for the information collected by data loggers. And in the last part of 2021, we are making it's gonna show in any moment, I don't know, an open event and a citizen science data logger, a more small or more cheap data logger for citizen science. And we have, the community will be made of citizens that will be user contributors, governments that, or agencies that need to control the water quality, and scientists that will be research about why this contamination or pollution is happening. And we have a page in public lab and to follow us. That is all. I thank you for your attention. If you have any question, you can find me in the email and the social media. I'm gonna put the links in the comments of the video in YouTube for anyone that are interested. Well, that is all. I'm going to. Well, that is all.
Thank you very much, Alejo. I think it was really great. Explained the need for your hardware, and that's really important. So your value proposition was very clear in your video, and I hope it's useful to share it and spread it to keep going in your project. So congratulations for that.
Thanks. I hope that.
Yeah. The next one is Auto DIY. So welcome, Camilo, and good luck.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yeah.
Great. Now I'm going to share my screen. I hope you can see it now. Can you see it now? Okay, great. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration about the project Auto DIY. My name is Camilo. I am the founder and designer of this project. So first of all, what we see is that everybody wants to learn robotics, right? Everybody wants to learn about, well, mostly about technology, and because we are surrounded about all these devices and we don't really know how it works. Well, especially in schools now for children, it's very important to teach science and technology. But it's hard to learn, it's difficult to make. Sometimes they don't allow expansions and they are difficult to configure. And most importantly, they are expensive. So like we find out that our solution will be an open source robot that anybody can make and build if they just find the parts. So like it's gonna be, it's low cost as well because they can source the parts from anywhere, and they can study and at the same time customize or improve after then learn how it's made. So our software and hardware, both software and hardware is open. And in this way, like we can combine both, but not only that, also the educational content is open. So any school around the world can use it. For the ones who don't know Auto, so this is basically what it does, just to give you a quick look. I mean, it's a funny dancing robot that you can code with Arduino or Blockly, which is our new, we make our own graphic programming based on Blockly, another open source software made by Google. So we combine multiple open source projects and we put it into Auto. It's 3D printable, so people can modify as they need. before we were having everything in GitHub, and it was really a challenge. So we find out and we confirmed with this program that it was important sometimes to have multiple channels. So we partner, we have a great partnership with Wiki Factory, which is a platform for open source projects. And what is good is that it's easy for people to contribute, to read, and to find the files. With GitHub, it was very difficult, and let's say it's for more advanced. Nevertheless, GitHub is a great tool, and we use it for our Blockly, our current smartphone app, and all the main like libraries of the robot. So anybody still can be, depends on the level they decide to contribute to the project. There's no like limitation of that. So in Wiki Factory, the good thing is that we have also a forum there. So we have contact communication with the community, and you can find all the projects there. So you don't need to like dig in the internet to really find, oh, I want the robot with the arms. Oh, I want the one that is made in the laser cut. Oh, I want the one that has Bluetooth. So it's very easy to find them there. We're very proud that we have a very big community, very international. So far, more than 4,000 members, at least the ones we see in Facebook. For sure, there could be more, like if we mix all the social media. But what is great is that we have found at least 70 countries, or at least 70 different countries have pinned that they have made an auto. This is just 45 countries of those, but these ones are different because these ones are AutoBuilder Club. So one thing that we started last year, and we started to reinforce because we saw the importance of what we call AutoBuilder Club leaders. So it's basically people in countries that they do different events and they promote the project, and they also communicate in their own language. So it's breaking the barriers of communication. Unfortunately, now with the situation, we couldn't do more towards this, but nevertheless, some people have been doing online activities and other events. Another thing we are very proud is that we have at least 80 remixes. That means that there's at least 80 different kinds of auto, let's say. These are the ones in Wiki Factory. Again, online you can find many things. Something that happens with all projects, all open source, I'm pretty sure, like it's difficult to really gather everything in one place. We try our best, and we managed to get 80 that are good, or at least they are somehow okay documented to be used. But we know that there are more. It's just that it's a challenge, and we find out in the program how to actually gather all those people. So one thing that we find out by doing the test and all the needs that we saw of the project, the customer profile, we find out that it's important to have something modular. Because sometimes you want to do a robot, sometimes you want to do the other one, but you have to change all the time. So what if we have one brain that works for all of them? So as you can see here, is an example of using the same head. You can have different configurations of the same robot. I mean, it's the same robot, but it can be a quadruped, it can be one with wheels, follow lines for different challenges, mazes, or you can add arms, or you can imagine other things because it's 3D printable and the 3D files are there. Of course, this can be even improved more if we want, for example, that you don't need to 3D print the body just because you want the bodies, or maybe have a body that works with both. But that's something that we're gonna work on the way. So one of the things that it was great is that we learned to plan. So now we have this short-term plan, which is we already launched actually, or it's officially launched in June, but we started to promote. Is a community journey model. Basically, we want to incentivize more people to create remixes. Before we had a contest, a challenge, and it was good for one-time thing, and we got like a list of 10 very good entries. But we want this to be permanent. We want permanently people to be creative and to create their own robots. And why not earn some money out of it? So it's like a win-to-win situation where both the project can like sustain, and the auto builders, in this case auto inventors, will also earn some royalty of sales. This is our midterm goal. So we have this like already going on project of having our own 3D print farm here in the Czech Republic in Europe, which we are following the steps of Prusa, but we are not going to be like them, of course. So we are already talking with them. We are going to buy some mini Prusas and everything. We are just waiting because of the situation. They are delayed, so we have to wait a bit for them. But the plan is to have like better quality, better materials, and made in here too, so we can have also faster innovation. We can change kits almost every week and constantly having cool features. And our long term is not so different from that one, but it's about the topic of distributed manufacturing. So basically, we see that all of these dots is basically people with 3D printers. So you see there's thousands of people with 3D printers, and this is just Prusa. And basically, they could be manufacturers of educational robot kits, which in it will make like a decentralized design, and like people, if you are in the US and you don't want to wait weeks or months for your kit to arrive, now with the situation, everything is delayed. So like you just find out that there's a neighbor that has a 3D printer and can 3D print the robot for you. Or if you are in a school and you find out that there's a makerspace next to you that can 3D print the parts for you. So we want to gather all of this. Of course, this is like a big thing. It's more like an idea, but we really want to do it. So we're already talking also with Wiki Factory that is very experienced in this topic, and they might have a platform soon that is going to enable all the people together. So I welcome to join you to the AutoBuilder community. Anybody can build a robot, so like don't be afraid. And thank you for your time, and I'm open to any question.
So thanks so much, Camilo. I think I would propose to go with the next speaker, and then we can start asking questions, because I have questions myself, and probably a lot of people also. And I just want to build one of these robots now after seeing all this. So the next one and the last one is Alchemy Dose, and I want to welcome Fernando from Rio de Janeiro to present his Alchemy Dose project. Welcome, Fernando.
Thank you very much. How you're doing? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can see you, but I think I'm still seeing Camilo's shared screen. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna turn it off. No? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. I'm accessing from 2 different computers because my tablet has camera and the laptop doesn't. It's not working actually. But well, I want to thank you everybody, because this experience was wonderful. I want to congratulate the whole team, because the program you have like put together is like amazing, and is so good that you don't need to like be selected to go through the whole process. You can access it online. It's open, so I'm recommending it to everybody. So the first thing I want to do is to thank you. Secondly, it's quite hard to be like presenting after all these projects that are so well like developed and documented. We are in a very different stage. We are a 4-year-old project. I will put a better thing here to see. We are a 4-year-old open source project linked with eco-technological toys. We develop these building blocks modules. Everybody loves Legos and all that kind of Kinex building block system, but they are expensive as hell, as like in South America are very difficult to buy. So we started to develop a do-it-yourself kit. You can do it out of like almost everything. You can do it out of, like in this case, this is box, and we are using chopsticks. And we have developed methods for making them out of like textiles or leather or a broken ball or like We have very simple tools. We can use 3D printers or laser cutters, but we focus on very simple and analogic and crafting tools you can use to make these connectors, which you can use to build geodesic structures, which is one of our favorite construction systems because of, well, we all nerds love Buckminster Fuller and his legacy. So this is an adaptation of what we already had built for Wiki Factory, where we also have our profile and as well as Camilo, and not so well documented and diversified, but we have our small community and we have some kits you can see there, tensegrity kit structures, geodesic kit structures, and well, we have like mainly took advantage of the program, developing some formalities like community guidelines, and we have already developed a website to call our community to help us. We are looking for all kinds of profiles which you can see at our collaborations link. We will share all the information soon. This is already online. You can see what we are looking for, like mainly production partners and collaborators. Fundraisers are always welcome, but we also have, we're needing for translators and communicators and well, all kinds of profiles. You can see all the list there. I want to show you a short video on what we are launching next week, if everything's okay. We have moved from a live format in which we usually give workshops alive and go to schools and go to cultural centers and things like that. We have moved into an online model because of the pandemic, and we are launching a crowdfunding site which will help us develop the not so very well developed until now documentation that we need to help everybody know how to start their Alchymedricos building block systems microfactory kits. So this is the countdown for the actual video. I don't know if you can listen to the music. Perhaps it's only background music. Perhaps I can make some kind of thing like this. And let me see. There's not much thing to hear right now, but if I make use of this, excuse my very poor Zoom skills. Let's see right now if you can hear the second one. You cannot hear it, isn't it?
No, we cannot hear Fernando.
I know. It's okay. It's subtitled. I will just speak the video. It basically a video describing what we do, what's the situation on quarantine, isolation, families needing some activities to do with their children, and how far we are from that scenario in which we can experiment maker activities, because we don't have access to Fab Lab, we don't have access to workshop, we don't have even access to classroom. So we are launching this online channel full of activities and tutorials and guidelines, so you can build your own building block system at home, and you can do it using very simple tools and materials, and at the same time you are helping us to get some of this content to low-income communities, families in Brazil, because for each contributor that help us like donating some euros or perhaps buying one of our products, we are sending a kit to a community in Brazil. So it's some kind of buy one, give one model in which you get some material or digital benefits, and you are also helping teachers and families from Brazilian communities. So that's what the whole campaign is about. We are launching this in like about 10 days time. It was thought to be launched next week, but I decided to move from Rio de Janeiro to Buenos Aires because of the pandemic crisis. Yeah, they called me from the consulate. They told me there's a plane waiting for you, and I said I accept it. So I went, and I delayed 1 week the launching. And we are doing this with the help of The Connected, which is an Italian collective of open projects, and we are working a lot together so we can have everything like ready for next week. So this is our campaign video. Our GitHub now has like a roadmap project where you can see what we are doing. This actual campaign, this Toys for Quarantine campaign, we have already shown, is like all described and projected here in the projects, and also the roadmap. So you can see our short-term objectives as well as long-term objectives are already there. We are already designed code of conduct and community guidelines, which you can see there, and we are finishing our templates for like all the documentation will be like targeted for children and educators. So we are working hard to have everything ready for the campaign launch. This is a sample of what our documentation will look like. We are not targeting a very geek public, so we are doing everything a little more childish. So that's it for Alchemetricos. I wanted to congratulate all the projects that participated, because I learned a lot from everybody, and I want to thank once again to all the mentors, especially Joe, my personal mentor, who helped a lot and still helping, and I hope I didn't get everything done by today, by the end of the project of the program, but I will like go on developing all the things, so I can like take advantage of everything we have learned in this process. And well, that's it. Thank you very much.
That was great, Fernando. Thanks for sharing the progress and yeah, everything. And we wish you luck with the crowdfunding campaign, and then maybe let's try to share your story so that it's successful. So we have also someone else. I'm sorry, Gonzalo, I missed that you also were here. So you're welcome now to present, Gonzalo, your Corchea project. So the floor is yours.
Hello. Okay. Let me share the screen. Is it working? Can you see my screen? Okay, so Cortea is a paper fluidic open science hardware. It's basically paper-based microfluidic device, and that want to give you access to microfluidic culture features at low cost and in a user-friendly way. So we want to help biologists that wanted to access these microfluidic features, but access to microfluidics is really hard because it's not accessible in a lot of ways. It's expensive, you need a lot of knowledge to do it, you need a lot of resources to do it. So we help you giving you some features of microfluidics at low cost in a user-friendly way. And we learn in the program the power of making a community. So now our aim is also to make a community, get feedback about the device, and try to collect data about bacterial growth on paper. So paper fluidics way is the same that paper-based microfluidics, and it works basically as a paper towel that you get wet, or like a candle, like through wax and light that wax, or a plant that use the capillarity to move water through the roots to the leaves, right? So here we use the same principle as these devices, like a pregnant test, a glucose test, micropads, a lot of cool devices that use paper fluidics. And Cortea allows a constant flow of liquid through wax pattern channels. So basically, paper-based microfluidics concentrated on like one sample and one signal, but here we want to do it in a constant way. So the paper fluidic device has three main parts. The part one is where you put the liquid, part two is where you observe what's happening, and part three is an evaporating area to maintain the liquid flowing. So here is the part of the paper device system, and here is the hardware that supports that paper system. So the main features is you have sterile conditions in your device, and you have here a place to put a filter to allow the evaporation of water and maintain this chamber sterile. This is how you assemble Cortea device. It's basically you have a paper, you draw your channels with crayon, you put the acrylic like a sandwich, and then you put the acrylic on the 3D printed device, and that's easy. So what you can do with Cortea, you can do cell culture, you can analyze constitutive expression, directed communication, you can have a lot of analyze software that we made for you, and you can also do pulse induction. Pulse induction is really new and innovative because commonly you have like a petri dish that if you have, I don't know, one inducer is on the whole plate for all the time that is during the growth, right? But in Cortea, you can change the conditions of your culture during it is happening because you can change the reservoir of liquid. So you can make an induction for 2 hours and then change to the normal media. So it's really powerful and it's cost less than $8. So here I make a comparison between regular microfluidic devices and Cortea. And the main gain is the accessibility on the low cost. It don't require pumps nor special infrastructure to prototype because you can draw every channel that you want, every figure, every geometry that you want. It has laminar flow, and the only drawback is don't allow you to do single cell analysis. So we have the persona. The basic persona will be a biology undergrad students that want to use microfluidic but don't have the equipment nor the money to do it or the knowledge. because with Corchea he can do it because it's simpler and low cost. So we have the pathway, and it's generally like this persona sees Corchea project and think it's useful for his research, and then he contacts us in some way, and we will give all the feedback that he wants for him to implement Corchea for his research. He will get hopefully good results. He can test his hypothesis, and he will be so happy that we'll work and create new Corcheas. We, on the course of this mentorship, we design a lot of validation experiments and hypotheses how we can validate them. So it was really meaningful for us, like, to work on these experiments and to think about them, even now that we cannot make these experiments because of the. So we're still like giving around about what we can do, how we can do them better. And that's it. Also, we are before the pandemics, we was trying to make a workshop and organizing it, but it is in pause because of the pandemic. So we have more time to think about it. And that's Corchea. Thanks for all.
Great, Gonzalo. Great work as well. Really impressive, and yeah, nice to see all the science related and educational related connections between everyone, which is amazing. So I think I don't know if someone else is present to present, but I think that's it. And then I think it's good to talk to the audience and to invite the audience to ask questions in the chat, but also here through the Zoom. So does anyone has any question that wants to share?
I think for the YouTube stream, we have a short backlog, so let's wait for questions there.
So I have like a question or comment, reflection, I would say. One interesting thing that is happening in open hardware, and it has been studied by scholars, is that the costs of production is going so low because of sharing, and that's really amazing because everyone can manufacture. But then there is a challenge in the creators and sustainers and maintainers of the project, because then it's not so easy anymore to sell and sustain yourself by selling units. So I wonder how would that work in this next era of distributed manufacturing and openness, because it's still a question mark. So I think that's something for everyone, and it would be nice to yeah, see what you guys think, especially the most advanced projects.
Well, I can talk a little bit about that. I mean, like, I think the best example to follow is the big ones now, like Prusa and Arduino. I mean, you can see that the system can work somehow. It's just that it's really a challenge in terms of, like, you need to be more innovative. And I can admit that even myself, I'm not innovative as fast as I should be.
All right.
Because the system really push you. I mean, today you release a file, tomorrow somebody is selling it in China already. So that's the problem. I mean, can you compete with the price, the cost in AliExpress? Not really. So you can see that Prusa does it with quality, and that's what we are trying to pursue. Like, it really makes a difference for people. Maybe they don't even care about the brand, or at least that's what they answer to us in our questions form. And then, but like, at least if you guarantee that it's a good product, they are gonna buy they are gonna prefer to buy from you if you have a good balance between price, value, and quality. And yeah, to achieve that, I think going solo is difficult. That's why we are also trying to grow our team, because it's very slow and you need to be faster.
Yeah, that's a really nice insight. Has anyone else has something to share about this topic? Yeah, Barbara,
well,
go ahead.
May I or someone else?
Oh yeah, I think.
no, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I would say that it's something similar that Camilo was saying, and I would like to add that it's still for many people difficult to grasp the idea that you could have like an open source company, that you could be a company and still go open source, because it's for many people it's still something new and strange, and it will take some time to get really implemented, I would say.
I think Mo wanted to say something, right?
Yeah, regarding the last sentence, companies are built on dependencies. So that's the best business model that you can have. And if open source aims to resolve these dependencies, that's a challenge, basically. So we need to design interfaces for the system that we have. And what I actually wanted to say, I don't think we should aim to compete with China. It's about that open source provides a technology, an infrastructure of technology. So we can aim for the gaps where we actually need not only cheap hardware or accessible hardware, which is then accessible by the price when it's cheap, but also repairable hardware, and especially modifiable hardware, or maybe for education reasons, or especially for science. And there, open source hardware can fill a real gap. And then it's just a question, who keeps on developing this technology? If our aim is to make money and to accumulate people to a certain thing, to develop a certain field of technology, then it would be like founding a company again. But if it's just like solving the problem, and it's not necessarily us solving the problem, it's more thought as a distributed company, just like the technology itself is distributed. So classically, the people using the technology would be the ones modifying and so developing it further. Just like people coding on the Linux kernel that would use it for their supercomputer and stuff like that. So it's, I guess, for the future, it's more a B2B thing. And yeah, so have a certain piece of hardware in your lab or in your company, and then you feel it would need an update, and then you have specific engineers working on that in an international community, and the actual machine doesn't have a company behind it. And that would be still cheaper for the company than buying hardware from buying proprietary hardware plus the maintenance contract and things. But this needs an ecosystem to start. So to get this ecosystem started, I guess science is a very good motor, because science is funded and science aims for good documentation of the hardware. So like that, we can establish like a small ecosystem of technologies that work together, that are connected, and then industry can adapt to that. Examples like Prosa or SparkFun, they're amazing, but they're filling a niche, and they're are driven by idealists. Does this work exist? Well, I guess you get the idea. So they're ideology driven or impact driven, and people support that, but they actually wouldn't need to. If you just want to buy a 3D printer, you could just buy any. Yeah, okay, I'm talking too much, but you get the idea.
Just for those of you who don't know Mo, because you may don't know him, he is one of the mentors of our program. So we are very happy to have you here, Mo, and thanks a lot for that comment. I honestly agree. And I think there was someone else who commented, oh yeah, Ryan on YouTube, who said also time and convenience, because AliExpress takes to 30-60 days to ship, which is something worth mentioning too.
Yeah, I think there is an interesting issue with the economics of, in general, not just in open source, but we're living in a challenge of economic situations around the world. So I think it's good to think about the economics of all this in general. I'm really curious all the time about this stuff, and I don't have straight answers. But I think I agree with Mo in that the partnering up with those entities that have public funding, and where in the public domain is interested in investing in social issues like learning, knowledge, accessibility. I think that's a safe way to go in many of the projects, right? And of course, combining it with the idea of scalability, as Camilo and Barbara were mentioning, and more as well. But I think it's a really nice, fascinating path and journey we are all being part of. So I want to thank you, and I think, Alex, would you like to close or say something else, or Julie, do you have something to add?
I want to add something on the topic.
Yeah,
Like, because as Barbara said, like, make an open source company is difficult because like the companies or the people that give you money don't understand how it will work. But also it goes on the other way also. Like open source communities don't want you to make a business of like you will kill the idea of the open source and all the thing. And my response for them is like making it a company improves the accessibility to the product, because if you don't want to make the thing, if you don't want to be part of the community, you just want the product, you also can have it. It's like, I think it's one of the best way to give perpetuity to the product or the idea, make a company for, and that's my insight.
Can I also add just one comment? Sorry, here's Joe from Germany. I was a mentor. I had the honor to work with Fernando on the Archimetric course. Yeah, I want to support all this incentive or the notions that were mentioned. And then I heard from Andrea that some of you are already disseminating some of your results also on scholarly repositories. So meaning data repositories, but also text-based, like preprint servers. I'm running one, that's why I'm so passionate about it, but I think it's also a great opportunity. Like, I don't know if that's already planning to have like a report on the whole program and distribute that across sectors and in different communities, including academia. Because then it's also accessible for the research and innovation environment and the people who work there. Because the challenge here is discoverability. And you all did an amazing job in putting your projects out there on various commercial, semi-commercial platforms. And also like documentation is excellent through Github and whichever other platforms you choose. But to make it count and be scalable through academia, it would also need to go on a scholarly repository, and there's plenty now to choose from, and maybe we can have a post-program session on that or whoever's interested. I'm happy to also give some input, or we can, you know, have a like a 1 or 2 hour session and just brainstorm and strategize, if that makes sense. I don't know, that's redundant, but yeah, that's just an offer from my very detached position. But it's been amazing to see all your results. Congratulations, everyone. Yeah, it's big accomplishments.
Thank you, Joe. I think you're totally right, and I also think one of the main ideas behind this program was to start fostering a bit of like pushing a bit for discoverability, as you say, and taking from what Mo said, also pushing for connecting people that are doing similar stuff and don't know each other, and we can start drafting in a very small way, a small ecosystem of people doing open hardware, either for different uses, science, education, for many different things. But yes, that's very important for us, and I think I'm very moved by all the project's presentations. I think you made a great use of your time, and I really hope to see them grow in the future. So I don't know if anyone else has any other comment. Sorry, one more thing that Gonzalo mentioned. I agree with you. I think also that's a discussion that, thankfully, in the open hardware world, it's I feel we are overcoming that discussion slowly, because openness, I mean, the licenses that are used are, of course, allow commercialization, and they are very clear on how this should be. Like something is not open if it's not allowing for you to do whatever you want with it. So, but I think it's very important that the idea goes through also. I don't know if anyone wants to say anything else, comment about any project.
I would like to thank the Mozilla Open Leaders program as well, because it's very important, and it's nice to tell a bit the story of how we got here, the things that we were contributing and being part of the training of open leadership in Mozilla. And then we decided together to make one specific for open hardware. And all that experience that we have put in this program is thanks to that training from Mozilla. And then you are ahead already with what we tried. So it has been a very social process, a very collective oriented learning process. And that's, I think, the key of why we have been able to do this. We wouldn't know how to do this without the training of Mozilla. And yeah, I guess that goes the same for everyone when you learn something from someone, and especially from a collective. So I think we all want to say thanks to them, because they are present all the time in the behind the scenes, and they are always supporting the program. So thanks.
And
Oh, that's great. So also a huge thanks from my side to make this possible. Two things. First, regarding the funding, a comment for that, with open source hardware, we are addressing public issues that are on the agenda right now, which is circular economy and community-based innovation. And there are new funds for that, especially for crisis response, Corona and stuff. So that's definitely a niche that is interesting for us in the future. And then distribution and connection. Please follow metadata standards so we can find your projects and connect them. That would be great. Like open know-how and things. Okay, enough of publicity.
No, but we're this is completely in line with the aim of the program, right? We are trying to put it is something I feel we were trying to do meanwhile, trying to put out all the fantastic work that the community is doing in terms of standards and improving discoverability, as Joe mentioned. Camilo is asking where to connect with you, Mo. So if you can drop a link, we will publish it in our social networks.
Yes, actually, this is also a good point. If
he is on the road, so we will publish that later.
Yeah, well, maybe you can send me a mail or something, then I can forward it when I'm back on the laptop. I will place my my email address.
So we want you, so all the people in the live stream, all the people here in the call, if you want to participate or have questions for the project leads and want to contribute to the project, please have a look also on our Twitter account. We were posting all the links to the project there, and also additional information. No further questions or comments. We are at the end of our final cohort call of Open Hardware Leaders. And yeah, we are left with thanking you all. We want to thank the mentors. You did an amazing job in teaching the mentees, guiding the mentee through the program, helping them with our assignments and so on. And I think this went very well also on an individual level. And yeah, also thank you, mentees. Thank you, project leads. Thank you for bringing your amazing projects, developing them further during the program, and also sharing them now with the world during the live stream. Finally, also thank you to the experts. We had some people who joined, who did not mentor a project, but joined in for special occasions, for special questions and so on. Also a big thank you to them. And yeah, Jose already told a lot about how this program came about, how we decided, how we came together. It is all about Mozilla's open leaders. And we want to thank Abby and Chad for also teaching us how to set up a program like this, helping us with bringing this out and developing it further. If you want to stay in touch with us, you can have a look at our webpage. We have an email address there. You can reach us there. You can reach us at on social media, on Twitter, and so on. And yeah, this, I think, from my side, there is no more comments.
Thanks for excellent coordination, everyone in the coordination team.
Oh yeah, totally. Very enjoyable.
Thanks, everyone. We made it through a pandemic, so I think that's something to celebrate.
Yes, and so yeah, we want to thank also. So this is what I meant with the experts, our specialists, the people who were like basically like the experts for a particular topic, which also helped during the calls and also the mentoring. So with this, I think we can end the stream. I think that we can have a final group picture. And can somebody do a screenshot?
Yay! My screenshot button is broken, so please someone else.
Okay, I can try. So I want to do a screenshot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that's worked.
With sound and everything.
Perfect. So
you need to change the screen to tiled so everybody's in the picture. Otherwise, it's just one big screen.
For me, it was entirely.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, the speaker view is only for the streaming.
Exactly. Okay. And let me check. I think it looks good. I can. Yes, I think this one is amazing. It's a great screenshot. So yes, I think with this, we are at our end.
We are going to send you anyway for mentors, mentees, experts, all the information, how to keep in touch and be still connected in our community, aiming to create a bigger community of people making open hardware. So we hope you stay in touch.
Yes, hope to stay in touch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was a great meeting, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, have a wonderful Thursday afternoon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.